My most significant time was spent with the formation and the stand-up of the 9th ID Scout Company at Fort Lewis, Washington from 1982 until 1983, when the 9th ID Scout Company was formally recognized and became Echo Company Scout 60th Infantry.
Okay.
And then shortly thereafter, I went to 3rd Brigade S2 shop, but continued to work with them, although not assigned to the unit, but as in the Brigade S2 shop through 1986. And that's also about the time they changed their name again, became Echo Company Long Range Surveillance Company, 109th MI Battalion. So I joined a delayed entry program, 1979, in high school, and couldn't wait to go. Right around the time that Desert One happened, you know, I was in the high school library reading about that on my birthday. So the next June, I was off to basic training, June of 1980. Went to Army intelligence training at Fort Huachuca. 7th Infantry Division was my first assignment. I was Soldier of the Year there as an intel guy, loved it. Really wanted to go to West Point, so I went to West Point Prep School in Fort Monmouth, New Jersey. Was assigned to 9th ID after I finished prep school because I didn't go to West Point. I really liked being an intelligence analyst. And so I was assigned to the 9th Division G2 about the time they were beginning to stand up the Scout Company. So the word was going out, there was recruiting going on, and I knew exactly what this unit was as an intel guy, and having, you know, studied LRPs in Vietnam, and going, we're creating something really, really special. So I would beg the commander as he came through the G2 section, you know, sir, you need an intelligence analyst. Somebody's got to do the security clearances. Who's going to take care of the safes? I want to do this, blah, 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 you know. And eventually I nagged him enough over about a 2-month time period that I went to the Scout Company, and I worked in the very first intelligence section that was set up, beginning to create vehicle recognition programs, also doing all those security clearances, getting everybody a top secret rather rapidly. I worked as a company ammo NCO as the PFC, the Spec 4. Got to train them, work with them, deploy them, debrief them. At a very young age, had a really great time. What was very interesting to me was first of just there was the mystique about it's going to be a long range unit, but it's going to be something new, which was reflected in the initial lineage title of a Scout Company, not with an S, just a straight Scout Company, and that was going to be a new honorific that I think they were attempting to create. Later on, as the doctrine became developed and was spread across the Army, that's when they sort of drifted into the, you know, a company within a military intelligence battalion. So it was so unique. The selection process was grueling. However, it wasn't demeaning. There was an absolute deliberate effort to not recruit the Type A personality, the Type B personality, because we were going to be a different unit. We're going to give an extended range capability for the division commander and have to operate very independently in a very sophisticated environment. And all of the challenges of doing, how do you do this? How did they do this? What can we do? And always just being accepted at a high level and high tempo of interface and action, no matter what rank you were, you know? And that was rare. The Army was young then, it was rebuilding, it was, you know, be all you can be. And you could be all you could be in the Scout Company. And if you did not succeed, I think this was even more so. There was no demeaning or grueling, you know, okay, you're just not a scout. And you went back to your unit or wherever next, because they were trying to retain the best. And some people didn't want to go airborne. Some people didn't want to do that, but they wanted to be there. Like we had a great combo with Sergeant Loper Fido. What brilliant communication sergeant. Worked with Mike Ball. He was here. But Sergeant L, I ain't jumping out of the fucking planes. Fuck that. But he still taught, he created the core basis of long-range communication, HF, and brought it all together and taught people how to do stuff. And many of us were in that position.